Adrian, welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you another tag video, but it's a different kind of tag video than I usually do. A while ago, probably about like a year and a half ago, I did a whole video about what it's like to be a legally blind YouTuber, and I will leave that up here for you and in the description box below in case you want to know more about that. But since then, I have gotten so many questions and requests to do a similar type video. So I found this tag and I thought, what a great way to do so. Today's tag is called the V.I.P tag, and it stands for the visually impaired person tag. For those of you who are not interested in a tag like this, by all means feel free to skip this video and I'll be at you tomorrow with another reading related video. But today's tag is all about being a visually impaired person, and there are several questions, so let's just jump right in. First question is, what medical condition caused you to be visually impaired or blind? I talked all about this in that video I was just telling you about, so I'm not going to go into it in great detail, but more or less I have a condition what's called septo-optic dysplasia, and it comes down to the fact that my optic nerve doesn't work the way that it should. This condition has a wide variety of results, and there's no one case that's similar to the other. In my situation, I am completely blind in my left eye, and I have about 10% in my right eye. Question number 2, describe your disability in 3 words. Could be worse. I'm an optimist. I don't know what to tell you. Of course I have low points in my life when it comes to disability that I might not always feel so positive, but as a general rule, I try to remember that there's always somebody out there who is worse off than I am, and that I should count my blessings. But that's just me. Question number 3, what is the hardest thing about being visually impaired? I would have to say not being able to fully take care of my kids the way that I would want to. I'm a pretty self-sufficient person. I might not be able to get from A to B like everybody else, but I can get there. But as far as taking care of my kids, especially when they were really little, I needed help with little things like cutting little baby fingernails and toenails. Like that, Another thing that bugged me was not always being able to read a story to my kids before bedtime, depending on the size font of the book, because I couldn't see it from a distance, and so they would start wanting daddy to read them books, and not mommy, because mommy took too long. And little things like that. Those are the things that I struggle with the most and I find the most difficult. Question number 4, what is the best thing about being blind? There are so many cool things. My dog, for one, getting away with things that you wouldn't otherwise necessarily be able to get away with. But I would have to say my hearing. I've got like superhero style hearing. My kids are always amazed, and it's always really fun to shock people when you can say, I heard that. Just keep in mind, people, when you come across a blind or visually impaired person, they might not be able to see you, but they can hear everything. Your secrets are not safe. Number 5, what question do you get asked the most because of your vision? I've got 2 for you. The first one comes from people who don't know me or are just meeting me for the first time, and that would be, why do your eyes shake so much? I'm sure most of you have noticed if you've been around here for any amount of time or watched this video for that matter, I have nystagmus. My eyes do move, especially when they're tired. So for people who don't know me or don't know that I have a vision problem, that's the question that comes out the most. The second question that I get asked for people who do know that I have a vision problem is, how much do you actually see? And guys, that is a ridiculous question. I am sorry, but I hate answering that question because of 2 reasons. First of all, I don't really know anything different than what I do see. And second of all, I don't know what you can see, so I've got nothing to compare it to. Answer me this, how much do you see? Not as easy as you think, huh? Question number 6, do you have a guide dog, a cane, or neither? I have a guide dog, his name is Lex. He's fantastic, he's my best friend, but he at the moment can't do his job because he's just had to have knee surgery. He just had TPLO surgery this past Friday on his knee, and so he's in a lot of pain, and he's on his way to recovery, but that's going to take about 6 months. So I do have a cane, which I don't really like to use, so I just kind of walk around with that one. I do get around quite fine with neither a dog or a cane because I did for the first 30 years of my life, so it's kind of fine. But now that I have kids, I'm trying to live more responsibly and not get myself hit by a car, so I try to, do the adult thing. Question number 7, what advice would you give to someone who will lose, is losing, or has lost their vision? I'm not really in a position to answer this question because I was born with my condition, so I don't know any different, and I don't know what it's like to have full sight and then have to go through the painful process of losing it. What I will say is that it will be a very difficult process. I do know people who have had to go through it, and it's not an easy thing. So find yourself someone who has gone through the same process and talk to them. Finding some kind of group of people who have gone through the same thing is very helpful. I do find that for the condition that I have now to be very helpful in the things that I struggle with. So I would recommend doing that for yourself. But yeah, I can't even imagine what that must be like, so I'm not in the position to give that kind of an answer. Question number 8, what piece of advice would you give to a sighted person interacting with a blind person? I've actually got 2, and I'm choosing 2 because one doesn't apply to every blind person. But first of all, because this happens to me all the time, don't pet the guide dog if someone's walking with a seeing eye dog. There are so many reasons why you shouldn't do this one, but the biggest one is because it can be dangerous. If you distract the dog enough, he's not paying attention to what he's doing, and when you're completely blind or partially blind and you're relying on that dog to get you to places, you put all of your trust in there. And if he's not watching where he's going, he can walk off a curb or walk into a pole, and if you don't see that coming, it can be a problem. We obviously understand that not everybody knows the rules, so if you pet the dog, we'll tell you, please don't pet the dog. We're not being rude, it's just the way that it is. But what gets me the most is when people look right at you, you can tell that they know they're not supposed to pet the dog, and they sneak by and they pet the dog anyway as they walk by. Don't take advantage of the blind person by thinking they can't see you and petting their dog anyway, because we know people, we know, and it's rude. I'm sorry for going on a rant. You can tell this really happens to me a lot, and it's so frustrating, but I'm gonna leave the rant there for what it is. My second piece of advice would be not to treat us like anybody else. If we need help, we'll ask you for help. If we can't do something, we'll ask you. You don't have to do everything for us. It makes us feel uncomfortable. So just treat us like you would treat a normally sighted person. It will make you feel less awkward, and it'll make us feel less awkward. Question number 9 is, why did you join YouTube? Again, go check out that video that I was mentioning down in the description box, because it talks all about why I joined YouTube, and it also talks about how I go about managing my YouTube channel. But the reason that I decided to start my YouTube channel is because of my vision. I tend to be very self-conscious about the fact that my eyes shake. So I tend not to look people in the eye. And I started my channel, first of all, because I really wanted to, but second of all, to challenge myself to look more directly at the camera so that I cannot be afraid to make eye contact with people. And surprisingly, after almost 2 years, it really has helped. But I keep reminding myself, no, I'm talking to a person, as it were, so look right into the lens. When I'm talking to people, look right into their eyes, and it makes them feel better, and it makes me feel better, and it makes everything less awkward. So that's why I decided to start my channel. Number 10 is to tag people. I'm not going to tag anybody because I don't really know who has done this tag already. A lot of people have. It's really old. I just hadn't done it yet, so I did. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe. I do make mostly book-related videos. If you are interested in these type of videos, let me know down in the comments below, because I can make them more of a priority. I just don't know if this is something that anybody would really want to see. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.